Hello, my name is Bonita Mason and I'm the Program Director of Journalism and Professional Writing Program at the University of South Australia. I really care about journalism and professional writing because we wouldn't have a society like Australia's, a Western liberal democratic society like Australia's, without journalism. We wouldn't be able to tell people stories, we wouldn't be able to hold governments to account, we wouldn't give voice to the voiceless. So in a society like Australia's, in a free and open society, if we have a free and open society, we need journalism, and that's why I care so much about journalism and professional writing. I've been working in the area of journalism since the mid to late 1990s when I studied journalism at the University of Technology, Sydney, and worked in many ways in relation to journalism all around the country. I've been a journalism academic since 2007 and I've been Program Director since the beginning of this year. Journalism and Professional Writing program at the University of South Australia is a 3-year degree if you take it full-time. You can also take it part-time. You can also do a 4-year double degree with creative writing, and there are many other areas you can also study while studying journalism, but within the 3-year degree. Part of the program is also available online. Key features of the Bachelor of Journalism and Professional Writing are a very effective combination of understanding the theory, and by that I mean understanding the context within which journalism is practiced. So knowing things like how media ownership affects journalism, how technology affects journalism. We need to understand all of these things if we're going to be effective journalists. It's also about how practical the program is. So the program at the University of South Australia is not only the only journalism and professional writing program in South Australia, it's also the only place you can study really practice-based journalism, which is very important. And it's very important for another key feature of our program, which is our relationship with industry and the contacts we have with industry, including an industry night that we have towards the end of the degree. And it means that students start quite early through their own publishing, through our student publication On The Record, and through our web-based radio station Unicast. Students get experience, but they also start to extend their networks into the industry, but also through publishing and broadcasting in other places as well. Another key aspect of our program is the facilities at the university. We have dedicated audio studios, radio studios where students produce their own work. We have television studios where students produce programs for Channel 44 as well as their own work that industry reps get to see at the end of the year. We have excellent equipment and we have great technical support in those areas as well. We have great teaching staff who really care about students, who have a lot of experience in the media themselves and love teaching. So we receive a lot of questions from students about the Bachelor of Journalism and Professional Writing. So how about we answer some of those questions now? So the question of where else a journalism degree can take you, other than into the news media, is one we get asked a lot. And there are many, many places that students go. This degree prepares you with the critical thinking skills, the communication skills, the understanding of the world skills that you need to do a wide variety of professions, vocations, jobs out in the community. So a lot of our students end up as journalists, and I was going to say all of our students who want to, as far as I'm aware, become journalists, but many students go into other areas. And one example is we have a fairly recent graduate who's working for South Australia Native Title Services. So he's working with Aboriginal people and he's helping them communicate to the world what they need to about their native title rights. So there's those kinds of jobs. A lot of students end up in magazines, they end up in a communications role, or they might actually start their own publication, and students have done that as well. Are there any jobs for journalists anymore? The answer is a resounding yes, there are. What is happening in journalism is what's called the legacy. The mainstream traditional newsrooms are shrinking, and they have been for some time. But actually jobs for journalists are expanding, and journalists can go into many of the fields I've been talking about and many of the fields we haven't even thought about yet. It's a very dynamic area, it's changing all the time, and we have to prepare our students. We have to give them the digital skills. We have to give them also those traditional audio, video, writing skills that they need as well to be effective communicators. So those skills are in more demand than ever. Journalists who actually know how to be journalists are in more demand than ever, and there are plenty of jobs for people with journalism skills, but not necessarily in mainstream newsrooms, though plenty of our students get jobs in there as well. The answer to if everything is now digital is pretty much yes. Everything is pretty much now digital. Students are writing for the online environment. That's when they're producing text-based journalism. They have to take photos, they have to produce video, they have to produce audio. All of it has to be packaged for the screen, whether that's a computer screen, a tablet screen, or a mobile phone screen. At the same time as that is happening, and we are certainly preparing our students for that, and having a lot of fun doing it, I might add, there's also things happening out in the world that are still analogue, which is pretty interesting. And one example of that is that a lot of young people, some of whom are still students, are starting up print-based specialist magazines. So there are still analogue spaces out there, but the vast majority of students will actually practice in a digital world, and all must have those digital skills, whether they're audio, video, visual, or text-based. Okay, fake news. Now this is why it's important that people come to university and do a university degree to learn all the aspects of being a journalist. There's always been fake news, but now we have this amplification through social media. It's now a much more apparent problem. And again, this is where journalism skills, really high quality, rigorous journalism skills are really important to understand how to research, how to fact check, how to make sure that the journalism that we're producing, that our students are producing, is as truthful as it can be. Now, it's often said that anybody can write, and I think the designers find this as well. Anybody thinks that they're a designer. But actually what they don't understand is that there are ethical, legal and public interest responsibilities that come with journalism. Knowing how to work as a professional, ethical and socially aware journalist is something you can only get through rigorous study. The professional writing aspect of the degree entails writing and editing that is of a really professional standard. There's 4 courses that students do. They do produce journalism as part of those 4 courses, so all the time they're still working on their journalism skills. But they also learn how to edit, and they learn how to edit for a variety of different publications. So that again helps to prepare them for a wider range of jobs than those just in the traditional newsrooms. If you have any more questions about the Bachelor of Journalism Professional Writing, or would just like to know more about the program, please get in touch with us. We look forward to seeing you on campus soon.